Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, and here back at Phoenix Red Conflict Interest. So now, we're into the trial section. We got a lead on who the true suspect is, and depending on what's uncovered in here, we either find who the true culprit is and nail him down, or move on to another day investigation. But we basically already know some people who are suspicious, well, namely Anton Sims. He's definitely hiding something and literally framing uh, Norman books, Edmund books, I don't care anymore. And the person who's most likely to be the killer out of everyone here is a person who goes by the username of Stranger to Love. Of anyone, it had to be a Rickroll. It had to be a Rickroll. It's just another thing of like, how you just prove who like Stranger to Love is? Because what was it? The IP addresses. Let's just track down like exactly what, like where people actually like logged into the website, and yet he's there, like they're all over the place. So how exactly do you prove who the culprit is then? The ties between the website are completely dead in point, so it's mostly just moving into the real world because the internet is not a good place to start. Order. Court is now in session. We left until yesterday. We established there were several potential suspects, rather than just the defendant. Mr. Williamson, what have you found out about this? The prosecution has taken the time to speak with the site's administrator. I assure your honor that Mr. Books is the only reasonable suspect. Oh my god. An administrator? He runs this website? Yes, that's correct. Oh, I think I'm starting to get this internet stuff. Okay. The talk you gave me yesterday after the trial must have really helped. Oh, have you learned internet lingo and all that? Oh boy, have fun with that. Thank you for that. Yes, your honor. I can't imagine a website administrator is much different from any other administrator. It shouldn't be too hard to grasp that concept. Your honor, if you don't mind, I like to avoid any potential distractions being the trial. That's like a good idea. We'll begin in your witness. Bring in your witness. Certainly. The administrator will be speaking for us today. He can give evidence and testimony for Mr. Books' guilt. Well, why don't you introduce him to us? As you wish. Maya, is Williamson acting strange? What do you mean? I can't put a finger on it, but he seems rather tense today. I don't know. Isn't he always kind of tense? Not to this extent, more like I'm angry tense. Annoyance tense. Point taken. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Oh, shush you, you noticed it. It's odd, though. He doesn't seem as assertive as he usually does. Guess this trial must have really shaken him up. How so? Witness, please say your name and occupation for the court. Oh god, please don't do Japanese here. Sim-san wa desu, boku wa administrator wa desu. God, no. Very good. Now in English. Baka gaijin. Such ethnocentrism. God. Well, looks like someone took an anthropology class. We're not continuing this trial unless you introduce yourself in a way that everybody here will understand. I'm Anton Sims, site administrator for Ace Fan Club. Oh god, you didn't even say Watashi Nami wa. Anton Sims does. Mr. Sims is administrator, you have full access to the website, correct? So it does, Sensei. God. It's my duty to make sure the site is running at its full potential. It's impossible the members are killing each other. I'm pretty sure what they do outside the website is none of your business. The prosecution wanted to present this screenshot. It was taken by the witness. He was kind enough to provide us with it yesterday. And that's a live Photoshop of the thing. Oh my, that looks like a confession from the defendant. Why did he come forward with this before? I go, man, Judge Sama. You see, I didn't realize right away that it was connected to your trial. Were you there yesterday? No. Oh my god. I find out about the case yesterday when Sensei spoke to me. I thought you, liked Phoenix that much. That's odd. Didn't you say you go to all my trials? Yeah, that's actually a good point. I couldn't this time. It was a first. I was preoccupied? Gomen Nasai. Nobody cares if you missed the trial today. You had no obligation to come. The issue at hand is the confession made online. The prosecution requested Mr. Sims' help in the case and he gave it. This guy isn't helping anybody but himself. Mr. Sims, this court requests that you testify to the new evidence you have given. Hi, Sensei. I will do whatever it takes for you to uncover the truth. As will I. God. Books' confession. Mask 3D underscore N00B noob-san admitted to the crime on my site. We gotta go completely technically speaking. The message was posted at 3:50, which I believe was around the time of the murder. As you can see, this confession links directly to the flame war earlier. The motive and opportunity are both very clear. Comment Wright-san, but your client is guilty. Even if we don't know the whole thing was photoshopped, doesn't that technically mean that since Books' apartment is all the way across town, and it happened, and if the way he posted on there was from that, I guess you're gonna say like he decided to make a post from his phone. That's. With his confession, I don't believe it will be hard to establish the defendant's guilt. But he confessed it on the internet and doesn't count because he could have been joking. Is he admitting that guilt right now in court? No. Arigato, Judge Sama. I'm glad I could help. Before we begin, I have a question. Hi, Nani Dosuka. What exactly is a screen cap? Well, you put a cap onto a screen, like you put a cap on a tube of toothpaste or some super glue. It's that, but you basically just put it on a screen. I'm trying to picture how that would work. It's just a picture that I took from my computer, nothing special. It's not an actual cap that you put on the computer, Your Honor. How would it even work, anyway? Oh, well, did I be a little confused there? Now that we have that out of the way. Right, cross-examination. Now. Thank you. I'm gonna not enjoy this. Confession. Yay. Mask 3D underscore N00B noob-san admitted to the crime by site. You gotta say it just right. You say every letter. Why do you keep referring to him as Mask 3D underscore N00B noob? That's the only way I've ever known him. It seems weird calling him by his real name. Well, if it was just Mask 3D underscore N00B you saw posting, then maybe somebody else wrote it. Anybody can use computer. Do you want to take a guess as to why that's not likely in this case? You're gonna say passwords and all that, but have you ever heard of a thing called hacking? Maybe? The message was posted from his home. Oh, so it was his home. That's in a different part of town. Doesn't matter. What do you mean doesn't matter? At that time of the night, the roads would be clear enough that he had killed a victim and returned home, all within the time frame given by the autopsy. Autopsy? Like, how big is that gap in the autopsy? 15 minutes? Okay. Does he live all the way on the other kind of the town? Assuming he broke a few traffic laws in the process, of course. Well, since we have cameras everywhere, please show me evidence footage of, like, him actually, breaking traffic laws. Ms. Williamson, how do you know where you wrote the message? The site's IP log shows where each user logged on from. Okay, so definitely not a phone, then. The name Math3D underscore N00B has been used in the same location each time. His apartment. Ah, I get it. This technology stuff isn't as hard as I thought it was. Anyways, because it was accessed from the same place... Wait, is there an actual, time where he actually logged to his computer in the middle of the night? Mass 3D Noob, 241. He didn't log on to there at the time, unless you're gonna say, he left the computer on the log so he can use it. Because it's accessed from the same place. There's no reason to suspect anybody Mr. Books did it. If only that AP log showed when people signed off. This would be so much easier. Yeah. The message was posted at 3:50, which I believe is around the time of the murder. That does fall within the range given by the autopsy. You see, it makes perfect sense. I can't really argue with this one. The message was definitely posted at the time. And the murder happened then too. I'm gonna have to prove Sim's wrong some other way. This evidence is perfect. A bit too perfect, if you ask me. No other further questions at this point? Go on. Hi, so... As you can see, this confession links directly to the flame war earlier. So it's mainly just trying to point of, actually proving that screen cap was Photoshop or, fake in some way. Everything seems to be going back to that, doesn't it? What is the catalyst for this case, Nah? After yesterday, I'm not so sure about that anymore. Could you explain your thinking to me a bit more? Well, it's rather simple. They conspired to kill him, and then later Math3D underscore N00B-san said he had done it. Rather sad, so they don't think the others were being serious. Demo, it does give a very clear motive for him. Demo, but it does? Hi! Yes, I believe that's very clear. Why don't we talk about that then? The motive and opportunity are both very clear. How so? What was the motive? Fame. Fame? Fame? It's all there in your chat log. He saw a chance to become infamous throughout the internet and he took it. How popular is Ace Fan Club? Why would anyone do that? Who would want to become famous with people who don't even know who you are? You couldn't ever admit to it. The internet does weird things. Plus, 4chan horror stories. I remember watching a lot of those before, and they became infamous by now. So I guess there's some truth to it. There'd be no recognition at all. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous motive for ridiculous case. I'll give you that. This is a ridiculous case. Besides, he was already in the bad terms of the victim. You might say there were multiple motives. What about the opportunity? As you already know, Mass3D_N00B Son doesn't have an alibi. Yes, I knew that. No one does. But how did you? You said you didn't go to the trial the other day. Did you ever mention that part to him, Williamson? No. Well, Mr. Sims? Wakarima-san? Don't do that now. Well, I have an opening. Better take it. Mr. Sims, I'd like you to update your testimony. Hi. It's clear that Mass3D_N00B Son has no alibi for this crime. Could you explain again how you knew that? What? Mr. Sims, you're only making yourself look bad here. Can you just tell us? One of the other users told me. Hi, that's right. One of our users was at the trial yesterday and he posted about it online. That's not what happened at all. I could tell just by looking at his posture. This guy's really bad at lying. Did you notice it too, Nick? He's lying, yes? Yes, I did. This guy couldn't hide a needle in a haystack, much less a lie. He's clearly not one of the more cunning people we've been up against. Right. Well, you know what to do, just point out that contradiction. So it's basically just trying to prove no one mentioned it. Had no alibi for this crime. It doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, wouldn't it would make sense, like, because you kept, like, deleting everything about, like, the thing. Where does it say anything about, like, he's just been slowly just deleting more and more things? I guess there's that, but, like, how exactly do you prove, like, you couldn't have heard about the alibi from the internet? The terms of service? Graphic violence or sexual conduct permitted. No, it doesn't say anything about that. Was there any witness? Is there really anything? In which Mr. Books allegedly admitted his guilt. Yeah, there's nothing else. Who's, like, I swear, that, like, I think, what was it? Like, some of the users on the website basically mentioned, like, that that Anton Sims basically just started, like, deleting things all about it. I don't think that's conclusive enough then, because someone could have just posted something about, like, he has no alibi, like, whoever, like, you know, the culprit is for this case is, like, you know, Phoenix Ray and all that, fan club, all that kind of stuff. So, what is a way to prove this again? I'll go on a limb and suggest, like, the things from, like, the screen cap of the chat log. No. Okay, so both the chat log and the screen cap didn't work, but this? I don't understand. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Sims, for what? You give my client an alibi. Nani? The 500 topic you showed me yesterday. There were several people I spoke to about it, and they all agreed on something. Oh, literally just a very specific, okay. 8 random people online. And that's my client was most definitely a part of that conversation. He was busy trying to get the final post on that topic. That would have taken up a good chunk of his night. Baka! Do you really think that counts as an alibi? In this case, it might. It might. Because of the IP log? According to the site's log, Mr. Boaks has never signed on for anywhere but his home computer. I believe Williamson brought this up earlier. If he did indeed post that message, then it was from his apartment, clear across the city. Still doesn't qualify as an alibi. It's better than nothing. You've admitted yourself that we had no way knowing if it was Mr. Boaks' that account. You think he got somebody else to post it to create an alibi for himself? I didn't say that, but it's nice to see you're admitting to the possibility. That's conjecture, Your Honor. I believe you're the one who brought it up, Mr. Wright. The defense raises a good point. I support this theory that Mr. Book's inspired with somebody he trusted to post that message. And would you like to please mention who that person is, then? Drat. I went right into that one. I'm gonna need something more solid to beat this guy. This confession is gonna be the end of my case. It's airtight. Although, doesn't that seem a little weird? That's airtight? There's not anything linking books besides the confession, which is Photoshop, so no. Maya, remember what Pure Madness told us yesterday? Really? Son, that man's lying to you. Everybody who was there can tell you that bad player posted himself. Yeah, I do. That's been bugging me for a while. How did I get a picture of Mr. Books posting it when it was somebody else? You don't think... I do. It's a bit risky, but it's the only route we can take. Mr. Williamson, I have a problem with this screen cap of yours. As a man's attorney, I can imagine you would. This goes beyond it just proving him guilty. I mean, there's something really wrong with it. The evidence has been forged. What? How dare you! You all people are gonna try and accuse me of that? I have a witness who can testify that she remembers something completely different. Oh, we're gonna bring that up. Well, guess what? Here's the thing, like, we could literally just track down the thread and literally find the original. What was it? You only got the screen cap given by him. Why don't you look it up online itself? She? This better not be the same woman from yesterday. Well, actually, you believe her after that? I promise you nobody else in this courtroom will. We'll not look for the testimony from her. However, you are making a very serious accusation against the prosecution. I want to show you proof that the picture has been forged. Show proof. Oh boy. Proof that it was forged? Literally just the 500 topic again, because like the chat log is not going to be a thing again. Only thing we can show to prove it was like against that besides that is something related to the 500 topic. Topic in which Mr. Books allegedly admit his guilt. Like that's like just the way how that's worded is very vague. So, no, it doesn't work. This proves it's fake. It's 500. I can't believe you. You're accusing me of forgery and you can't even back up your claim? I'm afraid this proves nothing. Perhaps you should gather your thoughts some more before making wild accusations. Making a very serious accusation. So, like, it has to be something like which definitively shows something. It's like how weird. Like, we just show how weird this looks again. Eh? The proof isn't the picture itself. If you look closely, something is off. What part of it is suspicious? Something is off. That's very subtle. Oh god. Look at the times posted here. The posts are going in reverse order. So, many sites give the option to decide what order you view things in. Perhaps Mr. Sim decides that account set up differently. Hi, so Desu. I might accept that if it weren't for the fact this whole section looks rather iffy. If you look closely, you can see that the area around the timestamp is a different color. Then the lines are a bit blurred as well. The pixels are all wrong. Well, you're right, what is that? It's because somebody copied and pasted that part onto here. The timestamp and the username come from a different part of the site. It wasn't Mr. Bulks who said that. Pixels? You're getting upset over a few pixels? Well, you're showing a screen cap, so why don't we, like, go get the big old projector screen on here and show the real thread then, right? I am. After what your witness told me and Mr. Book saying that his connection died, I don't believe for a second that the post was made by my client. The IP log doesn't show log off times. You can't... I can't prove it. Maybe not. But this chart isn't the only way to find out things. I'm sure Mr. Books' internet provider would do a fine job of telling us to be lost power. Just look at the witness. You can see just how keen he is in the idea. Mr. Sims? Whoa! This isn't what it looks like. Mr. Williamson, I hope you have a good explanation for this. You know how I feel about forgeries. Your Honor, I would never... Hold on, Your Honor. I believe him. You do? It wouldn't be like you to do something like that. I never claimed you're the one who made it. Well then, who did? I think it's pretty obvious. Like, why is, like, the thing... Wait, what was it? Like, just the first time I messed it up, I got rid of half of it, then it went to a quarter of it. Okay, I know, even though I'm gonna keep saving like this. It obviously is, Mr. Sims. It was our witness, the one who gave us the evidence in the first place. Anton Sims. Right, Summit, this hurts. I couldn't do this to you. Okay. Mr. Sims, you were the one who presented the evidence. You were the one who gave it to the prosecution when asked. You were in a perfect position to manipulate it to your liking. And out of everyone on AF, you are the only one claiming that mask3D_N00B made that comment. Let's see you give an excuse for that. Mr. Sims, did you forge that picture? With the finest of Photoshop. But it doesn't have a lot of Photoshop skills, apparently. Gomen Nasai? Answer him! I did it. Defendant didn't write that, then who did? It was bad player Jitsama, the victim. It's a serious crime, and you will certainly be punished for it later. They started that. Hi, Wakari Mashita. Perhaps you'd like to explain your actions? No, I would not. Well, that's here or in a police interrogation. I'm gonna drag this out of you later. You really just cost me my job. Chigo Sensei. Oh yeah, Chigo. I didn't even realize at the time it's like Sora wa Chigo. God, the Japanese version of just no that's wrong. Oh, I never even picked up on it. I know my rights. You can't force me to testify about something that would incriminate me. So you're admitting your guilt. This guy really doesn't want to talk about this. That shouldn't matter. The prosecution once again is left without a case. With no witness and no decisive evidence, the rest of this trial should be a walk in the park. The defense has no further questions to the witness. Very well. The witness will submit himself to the police and will have his own trial at a later date. For now, let's continue the current case. Ms. Williamson, did you have any further evidence for us? None at the time, Your Honor. Once again, it looks like you're down to circumstantial evidence. Your Honor, it doesn't look like either of us has anything more to say. Why don't we just let the jurors make their decision? Perhaps, Mr. Williamson? No objections. Very well, no conclusive proof has been given. I will hand things over to... Wait! What is it now? Sama, I changed my mind. I'll tell you anything you want. I'll do it. I'll tell you why I made up that screenshot. Defense? Prosecution? What are your thoughts on this? As long as we're getting answers, I'm fine. I know this guy's gonna be lying some more. And where there's a lie, it's a contradiction. Defense will accept for the testimony. Well, it has to lead to somewhere, right? Right? Mr. Sims, this court will hear you again. You're already guilty of perjury and submitting falsified evidence. Keep in mind that lying more will only make things worse for yourself. It's only gonna be a downhill scale battle. For yous. Hi, I understand. I do still like the mustache, though. The forgery. The big capital F word. What's the A in the AF, then? Mass3D_Noobs00B-san is still the killer. He may have forced me into covering for him. It was always in the plan that I would take the fall here. Always the fall? What? I can't lie for him anymore. He's the obvious culprit. What fall? What? Isn't it strange? Just moments ago, you were refusing to testify. Now you're begging for another chance? Why is that? What? Watashi... Doesn't matter. At least he's talking. What? Perhaps I spoke too soon. I don't believe this guy's the real villain. That's kind of obvious. He's too much of a coward. However, he's definitely hiding something. Now it's time for me to reveal it. So, literally, this is literally just the culprit is someone involved in the Revali's, like, group. So, literally, we're dealing with a culprit who is part of the Revali's group and is, like, forcing all this onto Mr. Sims. They've been on the website ever since, like, well, I'm guessing that they've been on the site ever since it was first founded. Maybe, like, you know, it's a good hiding place, you know, since a attorney was, you know, just, like, you know, disembarred for, like, 7 straight years. It'd be a great place to have activities. Mass3D_N00B-san still the killer. Yeah, so explain that to me. What evidence do you have to prove this? Evidence, Arima-san. But I have testimony. I swear to you that it was him. After what you've done, your testimony hardly means anything. Right, Sama, Gomen. I didn't have a choice. Let me explain. He may have forced me to covering for him. He may have covered you with a blanket or what? Just tell us, did he or didn't he? He did. You seem very unsure of that. Yeah, I'm very sure. You're stuttering an awful lot for somebody who's so sure. Am I? It must be a nervous habit of his. Well, at least it's not something gross like sweaty armpits. Oh my god, Apollo Justice. That would just be nasty. Mr. Sims, before we continue, I'm gonna want a more confident answer out of you. Hi, Judge Sama. He did it. Master 3D underscore N00B-san forced me to do it. Thank you. You may continue. He forced me to covering for him. That sounds better. Could you expand on this? Hi. He threatened me. He told me if I didn't cover for him, that he threatened me. What? Did you just cut yourself off there? Were you gonna say something? No. Mr. Sims, you can't hold anything back from us. I find the specifics of this to be rather irrelevant. Oh, so like now you're gonna call for irrelevance after he almost cost you your job. You're very now more calm than earlier. The threats were less important than why. Hi, it was because he wanted a not guilty verdict. Mr. Books, he scared you into doing that? He hasn't the least bit intimidating. Says you. And what would he, like... What would he even have over... You're the administrator over top of... A lowly member of a server? Hierarchically doesn't make sense. And also just... What would he even have to say to make you, like, you know, lie like this? What would he even have above your head? Oh, I know your true identity. You're not a girl on the internet. Because girls don't exist on the internet. God. Have you been taking a look at the guy? A seemingly naive and innocent man who's actually a crazed sociopath. I'm sure none of us here have ever taken a case of somebody like that. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Williamson. I know Mr. Wright did one time. That was sarcasm rhetoric. Ugh. Thank you for pointing that out, Your Honor. Oh my gosh. It was always in the plans I would take the fall here. You would willingly go along with something like that. It wasn't willingly. He forced me to do it. How so? Blackmail? What? We just covered the fact he was forced into it. No need to go over it again. Hey, did you catch that? I did. It sounded like he was about to say they instead of he. I have a feeling I know who that they might have been. Maybe I misjudged this guy. Could you explain what you mean when you say you were meant to take the fall? He wanted to manipulate the jury system. My picture was proven to be forgery. It would look bad in the prosecution. He appeared to be a victim and they sympathized with him. Was this one potential flaw with the system? You'd rather have us go back to the old way? Did I say that? No, not exactly. Jump to conclusions as always. May continue, Mr. Sims. You can't lie from anymore. He's the obvious culprit. Obvious? What makes it obvious? What makes you say that? All those in the Flamemore suspects, neh? Mass 3D underscore N00B-san is the only one of them who could have reasonably killed bad player-san. Reasonably? I just proved an alibi. And we explained how it may have been fabricated, and you haven't explained the means of how that can be done. Fabricate? You mean like everything this man has said? He's right, Saba. He made me do it. I forced the script on nothing else, I promise. Now that I think about it, there may be a way to get this guy to talk. It'll take a bit of bluffing. I might feel guilty of this later. Wait, wait, what? So we have to somehow present something which like is not exactly correlated, but we need to somehow formulate a bluff here. This is not V3's thing where you can sort of guess like when and where you can like make a lie statement. No, this is, you're literally just trying to use actual evidence. Like, we don't have any clue here. We don't have any like reverse truth bullets or reverse evidence to help point us in a certain direction. No, all we have is what we have on hand, evidence and profiles. Or supposed to present the profiles of strangers to love and all that somewhere here. Ugh. There's obviously something really important motivating him here. I don't know what it is, but I gotta find it. I hope Mr. Sims realizes the position he's putting himself in right now. He's just making it worse for himself, but if he's truly being forced by this they, then I don't think he has a choice. This next part might take a bit of bluffing, but it's the only way to get through this. And that is actually going to be the thing of it's going to be harder to figure out just in this look of it, because this is new to try to bluff something out. And I mean, like, sure, Phoenix does a lot of bluffing and all that here, but that's only impressing, and actually presenting something, that's something new. That's something completely new. It has to be one of these statements here, which I'll figure out for next time. Oh boy. It's gonna be if I'll try to figure this out like in the meantime. I'm gonna guess like I'm not gonna be able to figure out my own set. Like literally I was on the right track with the whole thing of like literally just presenting the first contradiction of Anton Sin's testimony about has a chat log, but no, it's the 500 topic, which literally only says it's just a thread that like allegedly the the defendant basically admit his guilt in, and no other details, no like screenshots, closer looks, or anything like that. Just that entirely. It would have been better if like maybe like it was updated to show like we know it wasn't Mr. Books because of these people. Like that would prove that like in the evidence, but like yeah, no. Oh boy, I guess the whole thing just taking what you know from investigation and putting it in here, but you don't know which evidence exactly just present and all that, which, yeah. Oh boy, we still haven't really got to the big difficulty spikes anyway, which either I'm misremembering them wrong or it's not actually the 5th case, the ones I'm talking about. I don't remember much more from that 5th case, and then maybe that's the thing that's on mine, just those, and just wow. Probably because it just shot to me as like completely out of the ordinary. Oh boy. Well, if it's not the next case, then oh boy, then that's literally the only thing I remember of the 5th case then, huh? Wowee, golly gee willikers. But we'll get there slowly one way or another next time. So, have a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope to see you next time, what time may be, and I'll hope you have a fantastic day.